Question coming in today from Ace Jace. This is a loaded question. This could take a couple hours. You guys and girls might want to make you a cup of coffee and get some popcorn. What do you think about NHRA's 2020 rule changes, and how does it change things for you and KTR? NHRA took over our Pro Mod class at the end of this year, going forward into 2020. There's been a host of changes already, from our schedule, rule packages, grade points, how they're going to take participants into the Pro Mod field, and there are mixed opinions about this. People on both sides are very passionate. I've got asked about this a lot by fans, so we're going to dive into it. We'll start with the entry procedure and quotas. Before, to get into NHRA Pro Mod event, you would have to have grade points, meaning that you would have to have raced stock or super stock, comp, some class that they would allow you to earn grade points to meet the minimum point requirement to enter an NHRA Pro Mod event. Or your other option was to sponsor an event to help fund the point series, and that would get you a provisional entry. Starting this season in 2020, NHRA has removed all of that to where if you have a car that is legal and you have a competition license in our category in Pro Mod, you pay your entry fee, you come and qualify and race. That's a twofold thing, and I'm excited about opening the field up and getting competitors to where they can come in and compete. As a business interest, we obviously want a full field. We want 35 cars there. So that's a good thing. I think if you've got a competitive car and you got the right stuff and you want to come race against me and you want to beat me, I want you there. The negative of that is you're going to have some teams come in that are not quite used to running quarter mile. They're going to tear up a lot of stuff, and it's going to be some downtime. And I think most of us as a whole are okay with dealing with a little bit of the speed bumps of that to get some more competitors. You'll see some names, faces, and cars that you guys haven't seen before, and I think that's great for the sport. There'll be some people that come in that kick our butt and mop the floor with us, and I think that's good for the sport. So that's kind of the beginning of it. Second, scheduling. We're dropping some tracks that I really like and picking up some that I also really like but are demographically challenging for us where we're going. Especially logistically. But I understand NHRA is trying to get us into some new markets, and that's a good thing. I try to always see both sides of a topic before I spout my mouth off. So.
It's a Pro Mod. We left the starting line. Knew he was going to edge out there. About 200 feet, he was about a car. I told him, I said, just stay right there. I'm going to be along in a while.
That is.
Reached over and stuck the old quarter stick in the second. Never seen him again. I was going to lost the gas on him, but I didn't want to hurt the damn feelings.
Man, that's the same,
I didn't feel bad for picking on children, but I didn't want to lost the gas.
That is.
So a lot of times when something like this comes up, you won't hear from me right away because I want to just kind of think about it. I normally open my mouth first on everything and then figure out what I said later, but on stuff like this that matters, I like to think about it. We're losing Atlanta. We're picking up, losing Houston, picking up Denver, which I love Sporty Bandamere. Love the Bandamere family. Kale and Cody Crisp do an awesome job with the track. Larry. That's going to be a challenge for us and most of the East Coast-based teams just because of fuel costs, the inability to go out and test, and then racing at that elevation. So that's for a supercharged car, it's kind of a nail in a coffin. I've been there 3 years. I've spent probably $100,000 out of my pocket trying to win the World Series of Pro Mod, and I don't think I've ever been there and I wasn't a tenth back from the turbo cars. And I've made the fastest and quickest blown run ever in the history of the mountain for a blown Pro Mod. So NHRA will have their work cut out for them in getting some rules parity to try to get it where we're all on the same playing field. At the end of the day, I love the people out in Denver. It's probably one of my favorite tracks to go to. I love racing out there. I love the passion from the fans, and I look forward to coming out and seeing you guys. The fans are going to win that one. You're going to see some stuff exploded in ways you can never imagine. So that's good. Also picked up, we're going to the zoo, going to Brainerd. That'll be fun for all of us. It's a track I've always wanted to go to that I've never been to. And getting Pro Mod guys at the zoo, there'll be a lot of social media fodder to be had. So that's good. On the rule front, most of the rule changes that are coming in for this year are designed to open the field up to be able to get various different combinations in, which I think is a good thing. And then a host of safety stuff that some of it I agree with, some of it I don't. This year will be the first year that 960 cubic inch nitrous engines are allowed. Before it was 910, so you'll get to see some of the big stroke, big cubic inch nitrous cars come in, which I think is a good thing if we can get them to come. They've got a 75-pound weight penalty added to them over the 910. They've also opened the field up to the Pro Charge combination, which I think is a very good thing. Pro Charger has been behind and supported NHRA for a long time. They support all kinds of eighth mile organizations, big company, good people running it. They've invested a lot in our sport, and if they want to race over here with us, they deserve to be here. We'll get to see some drivers that we've never seen, and you're going to see a host of guys that swap over to the Pro Charge combination. It's very new as far as quarter mile. There hasn't been a lot of quarter mile runs in data in the NHRA legal combination, so the tech department is kind of taking a stab at where to set the rules, and then we'll all have to adapt quickly to that as we start running them. It's going to be exciting seeing. Those things are loud. They're as loud as my blower car. I kind of grew up racing Pro Charger. I have a good relationship with that company, and I'm excited that they're on board. The safety rules aspect. A host of safety rules came out, most of which I think are a knee-jerk reaction. Everybody's going to have a mixed opinion on this. Everybody that knows me and has followed me in my career knows I'm a safety guy. Generally, if they make it, I wear it as far as safety apparel, and I don't need any organization to mandate things that I do to myself to keep myself safe in the car. With that said, there's a lot of times out there that we have an instance or an incident where something standalone happens one time, we create a rule, and it costs everybody a bunch of money. I think there's a lot of that. Fire retardant coating on the front end, I think that's fine, and that should have already been a rule. It's a little bit expensive. It adds a little bit of weight. If it stops a fire that's going to happen in Pro Mod from becoming a big fire, I'm all for it. Some of the stuff like the transmission tunnel enclosure, that's actually been in the rule book for a long time. It's just never been enforced. I think that should be specific to hydromatic style transmissions like Turbo 400s. All the turbo guys heat the transmission up. If you got a silly turbo car, it takes you an hour to stage. You overheat the fluid, cook the front pump seal out of it, and spray fluid all over the track. And I think that rule should be kind of designated to those. We have a planetary style transmission. You know, the guys that are running Liberties and Linkos and stuff, we already have a bag on them. They don't have a pump in them to pump oil out. So I think it's kind of silly. It creates a lot of cost to install that. If it's done cleanly, it's 5 pounds of weight, and it makes in-between round service difficult. The other downside of a lot of this is we're trying to attract a bunch of new cars that already have to spend a lot of money to get where we were on safety, and now we're mandating a lot of new stuff that they have to spend on top of that. That's going to detract some of the new faces that we all want to see come in and run and race. We've got a new rule about a window net. No longer can you have a seatbelt window clip on your window net. It's got to be a cam lock. I don't understand that, but I've probably crashed more Pro Mods than nearly anybody, and my window net has never come loose. But that's fine. That's not a big deal. We've got a new mandated electric cutoff switch, which is expensive. I don't understand it. I don't ever like to mandate a part for something that you have to buy from only one company. Not only that, but the new remote cutoff switch has never been down the racetrack on a supercharged car, so we don't have any idea if it'll work. Blower car's got a lot of harmonics. It's expensive, and it requires cutting up and changing a lot around the back of the car. So we'll see. I hope that the thing works. It looks like a nice piece. Folks that are manufacturing Modern Racing, Justin Elks, are good people. Been around the sport for a long time. Good dudes. So hopefully everybody's done their homework on it. Kind of a knee-jerk reaction. We've got a new pressure switch on your air system, on your CO2 system. If you don't have CO2 pressure, if you don't have 120 pounds of CO2, it kills the battery power to the car. That ties into the battery cutoff switch. Again, that's a knee-jerk reaction. 90% of all race cars out there, Pro Mod cars, won't do a burnout without the CO2 bottle on. So like my car, if I have 120 pounds of CO2 pressure, I can't even put it in gear to roll to the water. So we had a isolated incident this year. So this is it's not a big expense, but it all adds up, and it's always a part to fail. So not a big deal there. That's the gist of the safety rules. Everything else is going to be revolved around parity. Our goal is to have every combination where they all run the same and it's decided on the starting line by the driver. And most everyone will tell you that that's what we want. So all we can ask is that NHRA technical department moves quickly with the new combination. Nobody really knows what these things are going to run yet. Hopefully we can move quickly enough to keep parity and let us go out there and duke it out on the starting line. That's when it's the most exciting. I like it when everybody that rolls up there on Sunday can win, and that's when the fans get the return of their ticket. So it's exciting. As always, when there's changes in the air, everybody jumps up and down. Oh, why are they doing it? Why are they not? At the end of the day, it's their sandbox. We'll adapt to these rule changes, and we'll see everybody in Gainesville and see how it shakes out.